There's a sale.
Illustrations by me.
So Paul Rubens got in touch with me and I said, hey, we're having a sale on the 25th. I said, well, I do Monday videos. This is going out on the 23rd. They said, we don't care. We're having the sale on the 25th. I said, okay then. So on the 25th, if you like this stuff, you go on the 25th to get it. If you get it today, you don't get the sale. So don't do that. Do it on the 25th. Okay, have I said that enough? I hope so. Someone's going to get today and say, it wasn't a sale. Just 25th. Okay, that's when it starts. Anyway, the first thing that they sent me was now tell me how to say this. Is it Mei Liang? Is it Mei Liang? Or is it Mei Liang? I don't know. And let me tell you something. All those people who correct my French and love to jump on my back and tell me that I don't know how to pronounce anything. Most of you don't do that. Most of you are very kind. But some people do. I would love for a critique of your Chinese. Go ahead. But I don't think, you don't know how to say it. And let me tell you why you don't know how to say it. Because you don't say it the way you spell it, ever. It's always something different because the Chinese language is very beautiful. It's like a song. They have tones and half tones and semitones, and sometimes you say it from the back of your mouth and the top of your mouth and the front of your mouth. Just depends on how you say it. And when you look at the pinyin, and it's more difficult. So I will challenge you to give that a try, and I'm going to let someone jump all over your back for how you don't know how to say it. Anyway, this should be good. I'm expecting these to be... Now, I know these are what people... I'm not saying the word. These are not... they're sketchbook paints. Let's say that. But well, hold on. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see that? I think that's beautiful. I will hold on to this tin forever because I love this. These are my favorite kinds of... Well, almost. Yeah, these are my favorite kinds of colors. You have a warm yellow, an orange, a cool red. You have like a cool purpley color, which I don't usually use, but that's okay. And a cool blue. All my favorites. That's my palette. That's what I use. So I'm very happy that it's on here. I'm excited. I'm keeping this forever. Now, they do give you, look at this too. Can you see that? It's a sheet that you can actually read. Thank you, Paul Rubens, for putting a sheet in here that not only that, look, it fits in the tin. That's how I like to do it. I always usually cut my own to fit them in the tin. And this one does it, and you can read it. I'm so excited. So, the only thing this tells you is the color name, and there's a number, but I don't use the numbers. And whether it's transparent or not, that's all. And there's only one opaque color in the whole set. There's a couple of semi-opaques, and there's a couple of semi-transparents, or the same thing. But there's also transparent paints. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to ignore everything. I'm gonna swatch these 24 colors into onto a page just to show you what the colors look like, ignoring everything. And then we're going to paint with them. Now, if you want to get in on this sale and you ever have an inkling to get some kind of like pearlescent or iridescent or metallic or whatever you want to call those, they also did send me this. It's a 48 pan set. We're not doing it in this video. It's probably going to be about 2 videos we're going to do it or something like that, 2 or 3. We'll see. But look at the size of those pans. Do you see that? Those are massive pans. I know, so people yell at me, it didn't go in focus. Can you see it? This is beautiful. There's a quality guarantee period of 3 years. It says it right on the back. If it was any bigger, it would have bit me. But I had no idea. I didn't know that they did that kind of stuff. How do you do that? How do you... Suitable? Yeah, okay. Quality guarantee period, 3 years. Oh, guess what they say? They say that watercolor pigments should be kept away from direct sunlight, not in the window in the desert with the sun beating on it. And then you say, I think it faded a little. I know. Anyway, don't worry about nobody does, not even when they test it on the blue wool scale do they do that. I don't know why people do that. That doesn't simulate anything. You know what it simulates? It simulates watercolor pigment sitting in the sun. That's what it simulates. Don't do that kind of stuff. You keep your artwork away from the sun and see how long it lasts. Putting it in the sun to see how long it lasts is dumb because you don't actually ever put it in the sun. You should never do that. Don't do that kind of thing. So those are the pearlescent set, the 48 color pearlescent set. We're not showing it in this video. If you want those, get them on the sale. Wednesday, that's when it is. But I will be swatching these out right now. We're just going to put them on a page. I'm not even going to tell you what color. I'll tell you the color. I'm not writing it. We're just doing it. We're just going to put it on the page. Just sketchbook paints. That's what they say they are. That's what I'm saying they are. When? Wednesday. Okay, we're going to start doing this here. I've got the paint on the screen so everybody can see it. Now, I do usually take this out. I don't usually keep this extra one here because I mix in here. That's the big well, that's where I mix. I don't usually ever mix on this thing here. So it's just another thing to flip out and it just makes it that much wider. I usually take this out. You just take this little pin here. You can see it even sticking out there. I'm going to grab with a pair of pliers and just slide it out. Not a big deal. It comes right out. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's what I will do with this tin. But I will keep this tin forever. I love that. That's wonderful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to put it here while I put it here. So you can see the color names there, and you can see whether it's transparent or semi-transparent, opaque, whatever. Oh, these are, wait, that's not right. Hold on. We're flipping this a minute. Oh, it goes the other way. It goes like this way. So these colors are these, and these colors are these. That's going to be very confusing that's okay. I get confused easily. You can't trust me on that with anything. But we're going to do this. We're going to just set it up like this and see what happens. Okay, we're going to start with this lemon yellow here. You know it's not my favorite. I'm not a fan of the lemon yellow. It looks like this one was a little wet when they closed it or something. There's a little gap here. These did not have anything on them. I don't know if they're supposed to, but these are fresh, all brand new paints. You can tell. This one is even, looks like it touched the top or something when I did. So it's liquefying pretty good. Now, you know I had the Chow Mei. Those are the tubes. Those are supposed to be the refills for these. That's what I've been told. I have no idea. But that's what someone told me. I don't know if that's true at all. But if it is, wonderful. If it's not, that's fine too. Okay, they're still beautiful paints, so that's fine. So let's get some. Oh, what am I using today? I didn't even tell you what I'm using, did I? I can't close that now because it's soaking wet. This is the fluid. So I wanted to use the 640 GSM. I used that last one and that thick paper and I absolutely loved it. And I want to try using some more paper like that, some thicker paper. I want to use that for a little while and see how it works. So anyway, this is very thick paper. And this is the Fluid 100, which some people like, some people don't. I do. I like Fluid 100. Here's what Fluid 100 does. It stays put. It does not lift very well, so this is probably a bad thing to do for this swatch. But that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's lifting just fine. It lifts a little bit less. The hot press. Now, if you get the cold press, is a little different. The hot press on the Fluid 100 does not lift well at all. You put the thing down, and it's usually used for botanical artists, like someone doing it like a real botanical rendering. Liz Steele, is that who that is? I think it's Liz Steele who does the botanical artwork. I'm sure it is, because she's one of my favorite botanical artists. Anyway, she was looking at the different papers, and she used to use the Fabriano hot press, but it stopped working the same way. So she switched to the Fluid because the Fluid now works the way that one used to, which is you can put down your color or your details first. She likes to put the details down first and then wash over the top with the color, and it doesn't lift. That's what the Fluid 100 hot press does. The cold press, It's a different story. So this one lifts a lot easier than the other one does. So anyway, let's get on to what they're calling a light pink, which looks like a peach color to me. I don't know if it's light pink, but we'll call it. We'll go with it. We'll give them whatever they're looking for. That's fine with me. So it's it says semi-transparent, but I thought that one was a little bit more opaque. That's definitely going to lay on top of a line. Yeah, look, this is lifting just fine. So don't worry about it. Hopefully that's not too light for you, that yellow. You can see it. I know you can. Okay, now let's go to the medium yellow. The medium yellow is still, for me, a light yellow. It's not really medium that much. We're going to see what happens here with this medium. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, it's not a warm yellow, but it's not. It's also not like the coolest yellow that you'd see in your life. So, but it's. I still consider this a cool yellow. If I just saw it on a palette, I would not use this for a warm yellow at all. So this is just a this is a cool yellow. Okay, next one up we have the. Oh, I didn't put them on there. I just said I was going to do that. Didn't do it at all, did I? Nope. How should I do it? You know what? I'll put it like this. That way you can see how opaque it is. How about that? See whether it's opaque or not opaque or whatever. That sits on top of the line pretty well. But you have to wait for them to dry. Sometimes they sit on top of the line, and then when they dry, they're not sitting on top. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that light pink is pretty dark there. That one's definitely sitting on there. I think that's more than just semi-transparent. Let's see if the semi-transparent and the semi-opaque sit on top about the same, because that's what I think they do. All right, now this medium yellow is supposed to be fully transparent. So what does that do? Oh, I don't think so. Oh, maybe. We'll see. You got to let it dry. I know. Just said it, and then I said no, because that lemon yellow is supposed to be too, but that is definitely sitting on top of the line. Okay, deep yellow. Now, the deep yellow, here's where we're going to get into my wheelhouse here. This is going to be a warm yellow, I think. It could be something else. Hold on here. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's not bad. I don't think that's bad. I think they're going to... Oh, hold on. No, no, there it is. I can see it happening. Watch this. Ready? Look at the fluorescent yellow underneath that stains like a mother. Okay. So this is going to be like a PY150, I think. That's just my opinion. I think it is. Oh, boy. Like a Nicolazo yellow. Not a fan. Okay. So maybe I won't use it. But it's not, it doesn't look too bad. And it's very transparent. That's a very transparent color. Always is. But if you get the real, like really bad Nicolazo yellow, you get that dirty brown in it. This didn't seem to have it. So I can be okay with that part. I don't like the fluorescent yellow part. But in the mass tone, it's not as bad. I can handle that. We can make do with that. Vermilion is usually a very warm red, so they're trying to give you everything here. So the split primary is kind of the basis for that. That's fine. So this is a vermilion. Let's see what this does here. Oh, I got to get more water on there. Sure do, buddy. All right. Yeah, so that's a warm red. I'm not a fan of warm reds. I don't really like them that much. I know a lot of people do, but that's a maybe in the lighter tone, like in the lighter shade, it looks much. But you see how it looks orange? That's a warm red. When it's a red that when you take that way a little bit, you see that orange underneath. That's the warm red. That's what that means. All right, now we're gonna move. Oh, I got to do the thing. I keep forgetting to do the thing here. So that looks more orange there than anything, but that's because I put it very light. Hold on, I got to get it a little bit darker here. Okay, there you go. And it's transparent. You can see right through that. Everything looks fine. That deep yellow did come out very transparent. I'm saying that lemon yellow is semi. That's what I'm saying. That's definitely not. That's semi-opaque. And then this one is semi-transparent too. I think well, these two are both semi-opaque. I don't know. That one, but I'm saying semi-transparent, semi-opaque is the same thing. I said that sits on top a little bit. That does sit on top a little bit more, but I'm still going with it should be the same thing. Okay, so now we have a rose madder. Rose madder is always a pretty color. We're going to the cool reds now if it's a rose madder. Anytime you hear that rose word, you think, oh, well, it's a cool red. How do you know it's a cool red? Why don't I just show you why it's a cool red? Because when you wipe this away, It's pink underneath. That's a cool red. So there's no true red here so far. There could be one coming, but there isn't. Now this is usually, the rose madder is usually a very transparent color. So I should be able to put this here. It's darker because I put it more concentrated, but that is fully transparent. It's coming straight through there. It's not sitting on top at all. Not that I see. So I think we're good. I'll have to review later because you're seeing it from a top down. I have to kind of see it from a side angle with the glare, and there's a lot of light on this table. Okay, so deep red. So deep red, I'm guessing it's going to be cool. I'm also guessing that it's going to be a little bit darker. That's what I'm saying it's going to be. So here's a deep red. Oh, that's a pretty color. That's a very nice color. Very nice. Wow. You know what I heard about these? I heard, oh, these are chalky and they kind of not, the tinting strength is weak on them. That's what I hear everybody else saying. You know what I'm seeing? That's a strong, these are strong colors. I would not have a problem grabbing these. Matter of fact, not for nothing, but I like some of these better than some of the other, what other people consider student grade paints. I like these better. This is like a nice set of watercolor. I know we're not going for light fast here. There's no information on that. This is for your sketchbook, but I'm saying I like the color itself. I think the color is popping on the page, and that's wonderful. Okay, now we have a purple red. That's an interesting, is that magenta? It looks like it's going to be a magenta. Purple red. It's just magenta. Yeah, it's like a magenta color. It's still pretty, still very vibrant, wonderful. Not complaining at all about any of that. Yeah, look at that. It's just, that's wonderful. And you see, this paper's lifting just fine. This color was harder to lift, but that's because it normally is. But that's fine. Everything is working wonderfully here. Let me get some of that on here. And the purple, red, the magenta color here, fully transparent usually. And I'm saying that's fully transparent. I don't see any, that says semi-transparent. I don't see anything sitting on top of those lines. Okay, next. Royal purple. Well, that seems to be a popular color now. Royal purple. Everyone's using a royal purple somehow. And look at, okay, look how concentrated and dark that, I'm not getting enough water here. So look how concentrated and dark that is. That's a beautiful color. That's going to be like a PV, maybe? I don't know. Is it going to be? I don't know. The dioxazine, is that what that is? I don't know. Is it the PV23? But I'm saying it's a pretty color. And you can see the light purple here, and look how dark. That's black. Yeah, that's it. That's the dioxazine purple right there. I don't know why they wouldn't advertise that, because that's a really nice thing. Semi-opaque, but and I get it, semi-opaque. I'm gonna lighten up the name a little bit here so I can see it, because it's so dark that you can't see under that black line. But all in all, I don't know if it's actually that it's not semi-opaque. I don't think. The rest of the paint's not sitting on top. It's coming right through. I think it's fine. All right, we're gonna go to the ultramarine. One of my least favorite blues in the world. Other people love ultramarine. I do not love ultramarine. It's okay. You can get some very pretty. You get some very pretty purples with it. Very, very nice. Everybody likes the ultramarine. It's one of it's a favorite. It's a fan favorite. But not for me. It's just too warm of a blue for me usually. And what does that mean? It means it leans more red. So I'm not a fan of the red leaning blues. This one actually doesn't look that bad. It looks a little bit it doesn't look as warm. So it's not like a French ultramarine, which is even more red. So I would say that sounds pretty good. So now we get to a phthalo blue. This is going to be a cool blue now. So that was your warm blue. This is your cool blue. Again, we're going for this split primary thing here. Absolutely wonderful. You can see how cool that is compared to the other, which means it leans more towards green than it does red. That's all it means. It leans more towards green than it does red. So I think the phthalo, I don't know, you can, it is a cool blue, but I think it's closer to what I want for my natural blue, for my neutral blue, is what I would like for phthalo. That's where I sit with that. This has more red in it. You can see it leans that direction, like almost like it's about to become a violet or it's about to become something else. So that's all. It's just what it does. Now, to be, oh, look at that. There's no water on this brush at all. This, I think this brush is starting to go. This is one of my older ones. I kept it because the other brushes that I bought, I think they were terrible. So I don't think they were really Pentel brushes. But this one is just starting to not have any water come out of it unless you really make sure that it's there. And how can you tell? You know, it's still one of my #1 videos on the channel. You can tell because you can see the water enter the chamber right there. Hold on there. Let me do this over a piece of paper towel so I don't screw something up. So you see that empty chamber there, and when you squeeze it, you see it fill up with water. You see that? And then you know, and when that water goes away, then, because I'm leaning it on the paper towel, you know that it's drying out, and now that's a drier brush. Anyway, so you don't squeeze it. The temperature warning on my camera just came on. We'll see if that cuts us off. Anyway, that better not cut me off. All right, so next one up, we have the Prussian blue. So they decided to go with a dark blue. That's very interesting too. Very interesting too. Let's see here. Prussian blue. Oh yeah. So a lot of people like the Prussian blues. This looks like not a real Prussian blue. This looks like it's a phthalo blue with a little bit of darkening in it, maybe a little bit of black in it or something like that. That's what I would say this is. So that looks more like a phthalo blue, just a little bit darker. Okay, let's move in. Oh, I gotta put it on here. I keep forgetting to do that. We gotta put this on here. We'll do that right here. Just a little bit darker here. And it says it's semi-opaque. Let me see here. So maybe a little bit sitting on top. It may be a little bit sitting on top of that. I don't think it's really bad. All right, next one, we have the sky blue. So this is gonna be like a phthalo blue with a white in it, if you had to ask me. That's what I would say this is. Let's see what it does here. Add a little bit of extra water there. Great, wonderful. Yeah, look at how opaque that is. So that is definitely, that's not semi-transparent. That's opaque, look. You see that? That's opaque. That's going to be more opaque than a white. So, and it's because it does have that white in it. So I'm just going to slide that off a little bit. Let's do that here. Take some of this off a little bit here. Great. Great. Wonderful. Wonderful thing here. There we go. Absolutely wonderful. So, next one here, we have a permanent light green. There we go with a permanent light green. This is not for me. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. You know it before I even say it. Look at this yellow, ugly green. Not for me, that's all. I know you can like it. There's nothing wrong with the paint. It's just not my color paint, that's all. That is not my color paint at all. But that's okay, it doesn't have to be. I can do other things with paint. This is an emerald green, so here we go. You know what's coming right here, right? Yes, you do. There it is. The worst color that ever was invented. They should have never come out with this color ever in any kind of life ever. There it is. You have a phthalo green. Can't stand it, and I gotta put it on here. Luckily, I'm not putting it on the pan part because it would stain the pan. Even the metal, it would just stain it instantly. That's just how that works. Okay, next up, we have this here is a tree green. Now this looks interesting. This looks almost like it wants to be a sap green. You see how it, when I wet it, it just changed that color? I think that's what we're going for here. This is okay. It's not trying to be a sap green. I was wrong. But it's not terrible. It's just not It's a little bit more of like a yellow. It's still yellowish, too yellowish for me. But it's not bad. It's a little bit more mossy. And that's what we go for here, a little bit more mossy. Alrighty then, let's see, we have the next thing. Oh, I gotta put it down here. Yeah, I gotta put it on here. Tree green, oh, look at how opaque that is. Well, we'll see when it dries. We will see when it dries. I'm gonna go look at these again before I take this away and just say, oh, look, this one's a little bit whatever, this one's, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, olive green, now they're saying this is the olive green one. I don't know. This, okay, we'll see. Is this olive green? Anybody? Is it olive green? Not bad. I can see this passing for an olive green. It's a different kind of olive green than I would normally say, but I could use this color. This is not a bad color here. So I'm going to use this one. This is a decent one. I think I like that color here. Let's see here. Did I touch the thing? No, I did not. Okay. And that, look how opaque that is. That's a little bit opaque there, I think. I'm going to take away a little bit where that name is so I can, there we go. Okay. Then we have something called an ink green. You know what that means? It should be ink green. Oh no. Oh no, is that, oh no. I think it's worse. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, I was very scared of that color. It is a phthalo green, but it looks like a phthalo green with some black in it or something. I think that's what it is. A phthalo green with some black in it. So it's not as terrible as what I thought it was going to look like right here. But it is kind of ugly as far as it's not that ugly. Let me pull that back. It's not like a regular phthalo green. I can use it because I'm going to mix it with other things and make it a little darker. That's probably what I'm going to do. But yeah, I'd say we're okay right now. We're good. Okay. So this is an earth yellow. You know what that is. That's your yellow iron oxide. Let me put some down here, and you see how opaque that is. Of course, that's opaque. That's going to be more opaque than that burnt sienna. Why is a burnt sienna so opaque? I've never seen a burnt sienna so opaque. Okay, so take this away a little bit. There you go. There's your yellow ochre color. Nothing wrong with that. I love the yellow ochre. I don't care if it's opaque or not. It doesn't bother me. But it's yellow ochre is one of my favorite colors. Now we have an earth red. So this looks like almost like a Venetian red is what I would say this is looking like right off the bat. I don't know if I'm being accurate with that, but that's what it looks like. So yeah, that's a Venetian red if I've ever seen it. So very opaque. You can see, look at that. Right over it. Right over it. Very opaque. But that's what it is. It's a PR 101. You know that. Okay, so we had a little problem there. The camera shut down on me, but the only thing you missed was me taking away a little bit of paint over here. This is a Venetian red, and I put it over here. I think you saw that part. Anyway, let's continue. I fixed the problem. Don't worry about it. So this here is a burnt sienna. Okay, let's see what the burnt, it says it's opaque. I've never seen a burnt sienna that was entirely opaque, and I think that's a lot less opaque than that is. That's a lot less opaque than that is. It's a little bit light. It's a little bit more of a brown. So I'm going to put a little bit more concentration there because I wanted to see it. So this is not like, okay, so there you go. I could say it's a little bit opaque. It definitely is. You can see a little bit there. Definitely a little bit opaque. Pull it away a little bit, that's fine. But definitely not terrible. I would not have a problem using it. It's just a brown color. There's nothing wrong with the paint. It's just that it's not what I'd used to. For burnt sienna is usually like a reddish brown, usually. Like you mix these two together, that's usually what you get with a burnt sienna. But I do like the color. I like my browns brown, so that's good. Now, raw umber. This is one that I usually have a problem with. Raw umbers are usually very, I don't know how to say it, they're usually very green. I think that's the best way to say it. They usually have like a green tint to them, and I don't like that. But this one, I don't think it has that much of a green tint to it. What do you think? I think we're okay. That's even darker brown. See, next to that one looks like it's a little lighter. It has a little bit of a greenish tint to it. I think it does. It's not bad, but and I'm not usually a big raw umber fan. I might be able to use that if I just tuned it a little bit. So that one actually next to each other, that one looks like a redder brown. But it's still very brown for a burnt sienna. Okay, now Payne's Gray. This is one of my favorite colors. I love Payne's Gray. Let's see if theirs is a little bit more blue or a little bit more gray, like true gray, or let's see what they did here. Oh, look, that is a beautiful Payne's Gray. That is a beautiful Payne's Gray. I am a fan of that color. Look at that. That's a pretty color. That's going to be a little bit more... it is a cool color, but it's definitely a little bit more of a truer gray than some of the other ones. Some of them, you know, get very, very blue. And some people don't like that, and some people love that. I love Payne's Gray. I don't care if it's a little bit blue or a little bit more gray. But that's a beautiful Payne's Gray. I love that color. That I might prefer that color over what I normally use. But let's just see. I don't know. And then we have what they're calling a carbon black. So let's see here. Carbon black is supposed to be a little bit more of a neutral black. It's not supposed to be very brown. Okay, that's a bone black. Carbon black is supposed to be a little bit more of a neutral. Wow, that's a beautiful color. That is that is rich black. Oh, wow. That's really nice. I like that. I like that color black. So I like blacks in watercolor. I do. Not a lot of people do, but I do. And I will tell you that this is, I don't know, this is definitely a nice color. This is a more of a neutral black. Look at that. Look at that color there. That is really nice. I'm a fan. That carbon black is really nice. It's not warm. It's not cool. It's like a neutral black. Gets light gray. It's rich and dark. I really like that color. Now here's what people tell you. They tell you if you use a regular black that it's too flat. You shouldn't use a flat color. Let me tell you something. I have actually looked for that super flat black in watercolor. They don't have it yet. I love when the black is flat. I don't have a problem with that at all, but some people do. But you can mix a little bit of blue with it. See, this would be like a new, the black that they're talking about, that you should use this instead of this. But I think this is a beautiful color. I love this color. I'm going to use it. I may have to take this out of this set and put it into my regular set because I love that gray so much. Okay, we are going to get, and that was only a couple of minutes, look at that. We're going to get into a painting now. Let's do a painting with this stuff and see what we can do. I'm very excited. Oh, before I do that, hold on. So, slightly opaque, slightly opaque, slightly opaque. These are wrong. Transparent, 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 transparent. I could maybe slightly opaque, but not a partially opaque like this is. If they're going to delineate between the two, semi-transparent. Same thing, an ultramarine is semi-transparent, I think. I don't think that's opaque in any way, like semi-opaque. I don't think so. Phthalo blue is transparent. I don't see, maybe a little bit of sitting on top. Maybe. I don't see it as darker, but I don't know. Maybe semi-transparent. Prussian blue, semi-transparent. That's nothing wrong with that. That's actually transparent. I don't see anything sitting on top there. That's transparent. This is, well, semi, I guess it's semi-transparent. It's probably semi-opaque. It's sitting on top like the other one here next to it. Transparent, transparent, transparent. No, it's a little bit opaque. A little bit, I can see it sitting on top of the lines, definitely. This one, transparent. This one, maybe a little bit sitting on top. This one sits on top a little bit. That's an accurate one there. This one, yeah, sitting on top a little bit. Not completely opaque. I don't think that's completely opaque. This is completely opaque for, well, it's sitting on top. Definitely up here. But it's less opaque than I thought it was in the originally. This, it looks very opaque though. I think that's opaque. That's opaque. We're going to call that opaque. This one, semi-opaque. Not fully opaque. Not at all. Semi-transparent. Yeah. It's fairly transparent. Maybe a little bit. Payne's Gray, semi-transparent. I agree with that. And then the carbon black. It can get so dark that you can't see anything under it. So I guess so. We're going to just say that I never agree with what anybody says their paints are. That's just how that is. I never agree. That's just me. Maybe I'm quirky that way, but that's fine. Look, you can see they use the Paul Rubens glittery paper thing. They're sparkling. It's sparkling like crazy all over it. They do that with their swatch paper. They always use that Paul Rubens glitter paper, which is fine. I like it. It's fine. It doesn't, as long as it doesn't come off on my hand, I'm okay. So we're good. Okay, we're gonna get into a painting. We're gonna use this. That's what we have to do here. Okay, so here we are. I've just turned this. I'm using the Paul Rubens book. I might as well. I'm using their paint. We're gonna put it in their book. Now this is the cold press book, so that's what we're getting here. I believe this is going to be the back of the paper on this one. So the front of the paper was here, and you had like front going across, then you have the backs going across, then you have the fronts again going across. That's just how that is. But anyway, I'm going to do this. I think I tore the other one out. I don't know why. I don't remember why I tore that out. But for this book, I'm pretty much just putting the paint on one side anyway. I probably should have put the swatch in here, but I did not. So I'm pretty much just putting the paint on one side anyway. Now look, this is a nice set here. That's a nice set there. Do you see any difference in vibrancy? I don't. This is the Paul Rubens, the professional series here. That's what this is. The Series 5, that was that lake set or whatever it was, the water set. Look at these compared to these. Do you see any difference in vibrancy? I don't. Matter of fact, I think they look beautiful. Both of them look beautiful. These are very bright and vibrant. Okay, so we will get into the actual painting. I'll put that aside. Let's see here. I'm going to do this in a portrait format instead of a landscape. We're just going to do it this way. Now look at this here. I had to cut this paper and tape it back together because it was bothering me too much that this paint was not this paint. It was opposite. It was all these colors were on this side and all these colors were on that side. It bothered me too much. Instead of flipping all of the paints across, I just cut the paper in half and taped it back together that way because it was definitely bugging me. I'm not saying it was their fault. They didn't do it on purpose. They probably just lined it up that way, and that's just how these were lined up, and I could have just swapped the paints over, but I didn't want to do that. Okay, so we're going to get started here. I'm going to, let's see, I don't know. I usually start with a red, and I put a red somewhere, and then I build around the red. Let me do something different. Let me start with you know what? I'm going to start with a color that you would not expect me to start with. I'm going to start with this ink green here. This phthalo mix is what I'm going to start with. How about that? And I'm going to probably come like this here with it. There we go. Absolutely wonderful. I love that you can see the texture of the paper come through. That's one of my favorite things about cold press papers. I love just looking at the texture of the paper. I am going to take a little bit. So this is a darker color. So I'm going to just take some of the paint away, just lift some of that paint off. Just like that to give it a little bit of texture right there. That's what I'm doing right there. And then we're going to build off of that green. Maybe I'm going to make this a little bit more earthy. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'm going to use the other color. Don't worry, I'll use the brighter colors too. But I'm just going to make this a little bit more earthy of a start here. I think that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, I absolutely love that you can see the texture of the paper come through. It just, I think that's wonderful. And again, we're going to pull a little bit away here. What I'm going to do with this one though, because it's a yellow, I'm going to add, I think I'm going to add a little bit of brown to it. I'll try the burnt sienna and see if that adds to it at all. But right along the edge here, nothing, yeah, just like that. And let it blend together on the page. That's a good thing too. So I want it to blend on the page a little bit. And that's fine. I think that came out just fine. Okay, now I'm going to switch. I think I'm going to use this earth red here. I really do like this color. I love Venetian reds. Absolutely beautiful color. I think it's a wonderful choice here. Just to get a little bit more of a, like an orangey to go with that yellow. Just do something like that, just like that. And we're going to add, now to this, what I'm going to do is add a little bit of red to it. I'm going to add some of this deep red. I think that's what I want to do. Wait a second, that's not the deep red, is it? That's not the deep red. You almost tricked me. I see how you are. Sometimes you trick me. This is the deep red over here. And I'm just going to just pop it in a little bit. Let's see what that does. Adds a little bit more red to that. It also, I'm going to go back in with it with a little bit more of the earth red too. And just kind of dull out some of that red. Because that was kind of, make it like a background color, the red. Okay, now I'm going to use, because that leans a little bit more to the orange side, I'm going to use a series of blues here. I think I'm going to go with the Prussian blue first and start with that one. I think that's what I want to do. And just come over here and just build it off the back of this just a little bit. I don't know why. I like to put oranges and blues together. I know they're supposed to, oh yeah, they make each other pop. Yeah, they do, but I've always liked that color combination. Orange and blue. Very nice color combination. I'm going to add a little bit of Payne's Gray to that blue. Oh, I just swiped across that thing, didn't I? That's all right. Just like that. Maybe a little bit more down here and come back up here. There you go. Just like that. Then I'm going to go in with a lighter blue, but yeah, I'll go with the sky blue. Why not? I think if I take the sky blue, I can add a phthalo to it and just kind of, I don't know, just relax it a little bit. I think that's what I'm looking to do. Just relax it a little bit. Because the phthalo blue is going to be much darker. And I think it's just going to, it's already in there. It's just a part of it. So I think it's just going to add to the color a little bit. We'll do some of that like that. And maybe I'll use that Payne's Gray again and go into the edge like I kind of did before with the other one. Just let it spread a little bit in there, right next to the darker blue as well. So there we go. Okay, now I've got to use some more reds. So I'm going to pick this first one here. What is this? The Rose Madder. Yeah, the Rose, no, that's not the Rose Madder. Why do I keep going the opposite? I'm like missing where it should be. Okay, here's the Rose Madder right here. That's what we're going to go for, Rose Madder. And I'm going to kind of bring it around here. So let's see if I can do this okay. And I'm going to bring it around. Okay, so I apologize. You missed this again. I'm sorry. I finished this shape, but the camera shut off again because it's overheating. I know why. It's because I'm trying to record it in a better quality. And it should be better. It should be a better quality. It should be where you can actually see the texture of the paper on the screen. That's the goal. So hopefully you can. Okay, we're trying this again. That was shaky as anything. Did you see that? Okay, I'm sure you saw it. It probably made you sick. Anyway, let's get back to the painting. Oh my goodness, this is fun. I love technology. I love when things go exactly as I planned. So, I'm going to go ahead with the earth red again. I'm going to pick that color because I'm going to mix it a little bit. I'm going to set this to the side. There we go. I want to mix some colors here. So here's I know you're going to say some stuff. Don't say anything. Leave it alone, okay? Just leave all the little puddles alone. Don't worry what's happening. Everything's fine. And I'm going to pick probably, maybe the deep red. I think I'm going to do that. This one here. This is the deep red here. What is it called? It's called deep red. That's exactly what it's called. Okay, good. So I'm going to just mix that in there. See if I can get a little bit more of an Indian red kind of color. Kind of the shade of Indian red, but not exactly an Indian red because it's not very opaque. So that's okay. Don't worry about it. My goodness. So how's your week going? I'm telling you, I'm struggling like crazy with this one. That's okay. You got to struggle sometimes to get things right. That's just how it works. Then you figure it out and everything goes fine next time. So I'm going to pull some of that out. I like to create these little things of texture, these little pockets kind of texture with the either dropping color in, which is what I'm doing now, or taking color away, which is what I just did just then. So there you go. It just adds a little bit of texture to it, and I really enjoy that. Hopefully you're seeing all the texture because this thing should be showing you all the stuff. Anyway, that's the point of doing this. That's why I was trying to get a better shot here because I wanted you to see some of the texture. And sometimes when you just use regular HD, when you record in HD instead of 4K, you can't see all the stuff the right way. So I wanted you to see the stuff. Okay. I'm going to put just some standard gray here. I don't know what happens if you mix gray, and I don't think I've ever mixed gray into a color like this. Well, you get like a deep violet color. That's an interesting color. We're going with it. Let's see what we got here. So it's like a violety color, but not really violety, like a kaput. You know the kaputs? Yeah, you know the kaputs. The kaputs are, a lot of companies have the kaputs, but not a lot of companies do have the kaput. Some companies do, but it's almost like a kaput. All right, does anybody know what I'm talking about? You know the kaput, right? You know the kaput. It's usually another PR 101. So anyway, that's fine. Now I love mixing this color with everything. So let's do something else. What else do you want to mix it with? I know I can't hear you, but if I was listening to you, what else would you mix this with? Maybe a purple? You want to see? No, that would be way too dark. But you could mix it with the cool red and get maybe a lighter dark purple. There you go. Look at that color. That's a nice color right there. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, that's a nice purple color. A nice violet color there. I like mixing Payne's Gray with everything. Just like I do the same thing with sepia. I do. You don't see it because I don't have sepia here. But I'll do it with a brown. You'll see. I'll probably do it with the raw umber. And see what happens there. So because that looks, I like that. I think it looks nice. I am going to drop a little bit of the darker gray into it, just to give it a little bit of just something. There we go. We're good there. Very nice color. I like that. I'm into it. Okay. Now, usually I mix the Payne's Gray when I want it to be a cooler color. You can then mix the raw umber to make something a little bit warmer. So without, you just, well, usually use the sepia, but I'm going to use the raw umber because that's what I have. So let's say I wanted to, let me see, what do I want to make a little bit warmer? Let's say I want to do that with a purple. Let's see if I want to do that with a purple. So I'm going to do that over here. The colors are very, very, very close with these two here. Look at that. That's, I mean, this is a lot, yeah, this is a lot brighter of a color because that one was dulled down. But look at that color there. So if I do that with this color here, I take that raw umber and I put it into a purple. What do you think is going to happen? Why don't we find out? There you go. You warmed up the purple. It's still a purple. It's just warmed up. There you go. Very similar in tone, you think? Not really. It kind of changed in a different way here. But very nice. We're going to just make sure that this part here stays a little bit wetter because I want to dip this in a little bit, drop it in. There we go. I'm also going to remove some of the inside here. That way it separates from the outside where I dropped in some extra. And I'm going to do that again just to be sure. Yeah, there you go. Just making it a little bit heavier on the outside. There we go. Now that's going to blend pretty good, but still a nice color purple, right? You can blend it with the blue, you can blend it with the brown. It's just, you just change it. It's fine. I don't know what this thing is. It's interesting and it's bright and vibrant. That's all I know about it. I think I'm spitting on my paint. I'm pre-wetting it. That's what I'm doing. Every once in a while, you got to pre-wet your paint. A little bit of saliva doesn't hurt anybody. So I did just drop a little bit extra purple in there because I didn't like that it wasn't getting where I wanted it to. That's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to smooth out that bottom just a little bit here because I had an idea and I think I'm going to stick with it. So here is my burnt sienna here. Wonderful. Just like that. I'm going to take some of the raw umber, here. Just pop it on top here. Just give a little bit of streaking to this here. That's fine, just like that. And then I'm going to take some green. I'm going to use, maybe I'll use the tree, yeah, the tree green. I can't stand that color. But I will use it. You know what, just to show you what a good sport I am, I'm going to use this permanent green light that I absolutely hate. Just because it doesn't matter. And I can use whatever I want to use in my sketchbook and use whatever you want to use in yours. Okay, we're going to do that there. Maybe another one here. Yeah, maybe another one. I'm going to take the ink green now and just kind of there we go. A little bit more. I'm just going to drop some of the color in here, just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of spices. And we'll just blend it a little bit out with the brush in here. So you can do that, just, I'm not putting any water on here. I'm just wiping it off on my towel, and then I'm coming back in just to blend it a little bit. That's, if you have a thick color that you put down there, you can do that. You blend it a little bit with a dry brush. There you go. Now it looks like whatever this fruit was, it looks like it could be being eaten by worms, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what this all is, but There's kind of like a tongue sticking out here. I don't know. You figure out what this is. You tell me. All right, now you know the drill. I'm going to dry this off. How many fans can I plug in? Okay, so I went and ordered, while I was waiting for this to dry, I went and ordered the camera, the fan that actually goes on that camera. So hopefully we'll not have this trouble ever again, and everything will just be fine. Just don't worry about it. You know, you cannot worry about everything in life like that. Now, it doesn't matter what it is. Just leave it alone. Just go with the flow. Some things are changing. I'm trying to record a video and things are happening. Don't worry. Everybody's so uptight all the time. Just leave it alone. So you see what I'm going for here. You know what I'm going for here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I went with I'm going with this brush pen here. It's a felt tip brush pen here. I don't know if you I've mentioned this 100 times probably. It's the Unipin fine liners. If you get this set, it comes with a brush one, and I like that one. I also really like the Tombow Furunosuke pens, whatever that word is. And it's strange because everybody has their own words for stuff. That's fine. Like I called that other book, oh my goodness, I called it a Lachetti book. That's not how you pronounce that word in Italian. If my grandmother was still around, she'd walk over to me with a big ring on her finger and just smack me right in the back of the head and say, that is not how you pronounce that word. It's Lachetti. And I even saw the ad where Carlo was pronouncing it, and he says, yeah, it's Lachetti. And I said the wrong way. He didn't correct me. He said, he never even said a word. That's because he's a nice guy, and he just doesn't want me to feel self-conscious. It's okay. I don't feel self-conscious ever. That's probably a problem. Maybe I should feel more self-conscious. Maybe that's what I should be doing. But, you know, everybody does their own thing. That's just how that works. I understand that I'm a human being and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes in my life. And those mistakes do not embarrass me. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make them. That's what's going to happen. Life is a lot easier when you just realize that, you come to that conclusion, you are a human being, you will make mistakes. All the things, listen, I don't have a problem pointing out when other people screw things up and say, boy, that was a terrible move there. Look what you did there. No, I don't do it in a mean way. But I do point it out. It's just something that I notice, and then I say it because my mouth is connected directly to my brain. There's no filters there. So it's like, oh, yeah, yeah, look, I bet you wish you did that differently. And I just say it, but I don't mean for the person to feel self-conscious. I just want them to understand that I understand that they screwed up and they thought it was funny. I never get down on people for it. You can't. People are going to screw things up. Someone is not going to be intelligent enough to, not intelligent enough. Oh, that's not the right word. Someone is not going to be conscious enough of what they're doing. And everybody does something for the first time. Everybody does something for the first time. And everybody does something for the last time. But that's a depressing thought. We're not thinking about that one right now. So just for the first time, you know, when people, every once in a while, they'll walk around and they'll do something dumb because it was the first time they did it and they didn't know, and they need someone to tell them, hey, that was not what you're supposed to do. And then they go, oh, okay. And then the next time they know not to do it, and it seems like they're a professional. They're not a professional. They already screwed it up a bunch of times and had to have people eventually tell them because they didn't even notice. That's what happens in life. If you're alive, you should know that. You know you've screwed a ton of stuff up. You know you have. The first time you ever tried to do something, my goodness, I can't even imagine. I don't think I can remember all of the screw-ups the first time I tried to do something. Look at one, I'm telling you, if you go, you have no idea. You haven't seen my first video, I don't think. I believe patrons have. They have access to an old video. I think I showed my very first video before I even thought about starting the channel in 2018. I think I recorded something in 2015 maybe, and it was a terrible quality because it was had a terrible camera at the time, and it just I had no audio at all. It was just terrible. It was just like an echo in a room. It was horrible, and everything I did was wrong. It was just terrible. No one would have watched that if I paid them. And that's just how that went. And that's fine. And that was the first time I did something, and I had to learn how to do it. Because the first time you do something, you're going to screw it up. And it's expected. As a matter of fact, I just want to get that part done with. Let me screw up everything I'm going to screw up. Let me do that first. And then I'll do something right. Maybe. If I feel like it. I usually don't do anything right. That's okay. You don't have to hold yourself to a standard that's unreachable, or anybody else for that matter. Don't hold people to standards that they're never going to hit. Oh, this is the first time they're doing it. They must do it perfect. It's never going to happen. You have to be patient with people. You should be able to laugh about your screw-ups. That's what you should be able to do. Can you laugh about your screw-ups? Can you laugh about other people's screw-ups and help them laugh about it too? Don't make them feel bad about it. Help them laugh about it. Let them know that you understand that sometimes they're going to screw things up. It's okay. Do you know every piece of art that I do, in my opinion, has a potential to really screw up? Because I don't have any plans with what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And sometimes they absolutely suck. And that's okay, and I laugh at it, and I say, that's okay, I'll do another one better next time. It doesn't matter. It's just a piece of art that I created. It's just an idea I had, and sometimes I have horrible ideas. Have you ever had a horrible idea? It's happened to me. So that's just how life is sometimes. Why don't you tell me, do you go out of your way to help people feel like, hey, look, you screwed up, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. Get them next time. Just do it next time. You'll be fine. Learn from this one, go on to the next one. That's all you can ever do. That's what everybody does. Every successful person in the world screws up more than you could ever imagine. They just don't take it personally. They just understand it's a screw up. They laugh at it. Well, sometimes they laugh at it. Sometimes, if it's very serious, you can't laugh at it. There's a difference. But most of the time, you can laugh at it, move on, do something different, show everybody how it doesn't faze you, that you can laugh at yourself. People like that when you can too. When you can show people that you have no problem laughing at yourself, you don't take yourself so seriously that you're so embarrassed, the littlest thing, it's so embarrassing. When people they say, oh, this person's relatable. They screw up just like me and they don't even care. They're fine with it. That's a good trait to have. You should try and do that. Sometimes I try things that I know I can't do just so I can screw them up. How about that? I'm not trying to screw them up. I just realize that I'm going to. Like, there are certain things I absolutely cannot do. And the first time I do it, it is not a good idea. Don't do it with anything that's serious. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about like rewiring the house and, the electric in your house. Don't do that for the first time by yourself. And no, don't do that. You need to understand what you're doing if you don't burn your house down. But little things or driving a car. Listen, there's a reason why people practice in empty parking lots. That's what you should do. But guess what you're going to do? You're going to screw up. Let me tell you a quick story about that. The first time I ever got, my father had very old cars all the time. Old cars all the time. And I always saw him pump the brakes because the brakes never worked properly. So he would have to pump the brakes. The first time I got in a car and I was with my uncle and he was teaching me how to drive, he's like, yeah, come on, I'll take you out in the car. That first stop sign, I bounced his head off the dashboard like 4 or 5 times, just pumping the brakes. No idea what I was doing. He laughed so hard he couldn't even yell at me. That's how that was. What are you doing? It was funny. Don't worry about that. But you have to know that you're going to screw things up and laugh at them. That's how life is sometimes. I didn't like this piece when I first did it, but I do like it now. I like that. I think it is a piece of fruit that's being done something with. Maybe it's a weird fruit. Maybe that's what it's supposed to look like. They're all different. It's like, what's that? What is it? People say, oh, the turtle has like 7 different types of meat on it. I've never eaten a turtle. I never will. I've eaten some other stuff. We'll go into that another time. But I've never eaten a turtle. But anyway, maybe this is that kind of fruit. It's like a fruit that you bite into and it has like several different fruits inside of it, that different types of flavor. It could be. So all in all, this was fine. Everything worked just fine. Listen, I'm happy with the piece. I thought the colors were bright, vibrant, beautiful. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. You can see it up here. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful palette. Their colors are excellent. And in 2 weeks, we'll look at the other ones, the pearlescent ones. By next week, I'm going to have this issue fixed. It was a problem. And sometimes problems happen. And I know most people, oh, why do you talk about it? It breaks me out of the... Just be an adult. I can talk to you about what's happening. Remember, you're my friend in my studio. That's who you are. So you're watching me go through all the hassles and having things overheat on me and having to rig up fans and that kind of stuff. We're hanging out. That's what happens. Sometimes you got to do stuff. And there's nothing wrong with it. We're not worried about it. No one's complaining. Just like these people popping up on the screen here. They never complain about anything. I never hear them complain about anything at all, not even one thing. So thumb up the video if you like these. If you think these are beautiful paints and they're vibrant and bright and you think you want to get them, well, what day are you going to get them? Wednesday, the 25th. That's when the sale is. That's when it starts. That's when you go look for it. So you come back to this video if you want and click on that link. That way they know that you went to the sale because of me. That's fine. That's what has to happen. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I know I'm going to have a wonderful rest of my week. In a couple of days, I'm getting that fan to put on that camera. And we're going to have a good time with that. I think it's going to be good. I hope. I don't want to have to return it. I hate having to return things. Okay. We'll see if that does. Now, I didn't mess up too much because I messed up plenty, but you saw it all. Everything was cutting out on me like crazy, but I will try and put something here. All right. So I think that's a nice color. Let's shut off. I think the camera shut off. It did. The heat warning got to it. We'll do that again. I'm just going to put this color right here. It shut off again. It didn't even come up with a warning. Okay. But that's what it is. It's a PR 101. You know that. And I'm going to bring it around. I want it to touch. It's also one of these leap days. You know, not a leap day. What in the world am I talking about? It's not a leap day. It's the turning back the clocks day. All right, let me let this fast forward. If you'd like to join our community, head over to illustrationsbypete.com. You can just check some things out. You go through the site however you want, and sign up for the newsletter that I almost never send out because I don't want to annoy the crap out of you more than I already do with my nonsense in these videos. But I'd love to hear from you, so come on over. All right.